Hey everybody, this is Righteous Free. We're back again with another episode of the Rush Tank Busting series, this time featuring Leon the Epic Knight. Everybody is definitely well aware of Leon, who he is, the fact that he was the first super OP unit in the game. A lot of people say he's fallen out of favor. I still think he has a lot of potential. With Blue Dragon Strike, there are a couple of strategies that you can use with that to wreck another team. You can put them into the worst spot possible, or just make it so that they can't recover. So we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna start with his talent. It's really basic, but sometimes basic is the best. For every one block move, damage increases by 4%, defense increases by 20%. You can then move another 3 blocks again after attacking. It doesn't say this here like it does in Mystery Knight and some other characters, but the max is 5 blocks, obviously, so you can get 20% damage increase and 100% defense increase. For the most part, you're probably only going to get 3 squares out of it with how he's going to be used in order to get into range, but there are a couple of places where you will be able to make use of all 5 movement squares. This will add a lot of damage to just his regular strike, the tank busting, with everybody else supporting him. Now we're going to look at his skills. First skill that he gets is Assault. There are a few instances where you're going to use Assault. If you know their tank does not have a Blood Pact on it, you can use Assault to stop them from healing. It'll make them waste a turn to get the debuff off, or make them move their tank first instead. And if you use Leon not as the primary tank buster, let's say for example you have Toguro and Leon, he could be your squishy killer, the one who cleans up everything after Toguro busts the tank. So in this case, you'll use Assault, that way it has a low cooldown, so you can just use that, kill any of the squishies, retreat, and get that up ASAP. Blue Dragon Strike is his 3C ability. It's very key. There is a huge strategy with this that can be used to mess up an entire formation. First, you attack an enemy unit dealing 1.7 damage. After battle, and after taking action, after you're done moving, deals 0.3 AoE physical damage to all enemies within 1 block of him. Now it says 1 block, but it means 1 ring. So that's a little misleading. They need to update that. So it's just like Wind Whisper, it's a ring around you. Now it causes a teleport effect. This is not displacement. So if you do this against the Landius with Peace of Mind, it will move him. It moves you to another location within that ring, and then you receive a debuff. This can be a small movement debuff, attack debuff, damage debuff. It's a medium strength kind of debuff, so it's not the best, but it's not the worst. With Blue Dragon Strike, if you put a Balance Blade on Leon, it increases it to 2 rings, and then everybody can be teleported within that 2 rings there. So you could have like the best possible. Their squishies are in one corner, really close to where your team could come and pick them off. Their tank is far away, can't get to protect them, and their healers aren't able to get into safety either. So if you want to do the Balance Blade, you have to remember Leon will not be a tank buster though, because Balance Blade does not have extra attack percentage on there. It has defense and magic defense percentage. That's why it's Balance Blade. Come on, gotta balance it out. So just have to keep that in mind. He's used to disrupt strategies and keep people from maintaining position. But if you do want to do it that way, he's a great follow-up to any other tank buster. Otherwise, this can be greatly used to just tank bust and then damage the enemy team in general. You kill that tank, you move right into the middle, AoE them. They have to spend time to heal up, and your people can get into position to kill them. Like, if he is the last person to act, if you're, let's just say you're going second, you are in range, you hit that tank, you have that attack blessing and Weiler high stakes buff on, you have just enough damage to kill that tank, boom, they're gone. You move right into them, AoE. They're going to be super weak. They're not going to have the damage, and you're going to heal up afterwards. They're going to have to spend a turn to heal, or they'll debuff you or something. If they don't just give up after that. You can then just retreat. Move your tank in, jump in. You can even just, with Leon, just go, boom, kill another squishy, kill that DPS. They have a Reen there. Okay, I am Leon. I am cavalry. Kill him. Very versatile, very dangerous if you have the right setup. Moving on, we have the best one cost for him, Legion. Your HP is above 90%, attack and defense go up by 10%. Super solid, he's going to be at full HP 99% of the time. That's the best one. Blast, you're not going to use. Chivalry will provide that, and with other buffs you'll have, you won't have to worry about taking too much damage and losing your soldiers before they deal their damage. Attack break, you don't want. We're not going to go over this. He does not need that. He's meant to one shot and just kill the squishies. Crush, you're not going to get a chance to use this with his setup. Your HP has to be higher. It can't be equal. So don't use it. Stick with Legion. It's the best for him. Moving on to other 2Cs, we then have Smash. You are most likely not going to use this. This is more PvE oriented for how he's going to be built for a tank busting rush guide. It does cause a displacement, makes the tank can't guard, but it's easily dispellable. If the tank has somebody behind him, he won't be moved back, and then they'll just heal up and then you're in a bad position. Only a 1.4 damage modifier. I don't recommend it because if he's the backup, you have Toguro, you have Shaltir, you have Brenda going in and killing somebody. He's just the backup there to finish everybody off. You don't need this. Chivalry. This is going to be a core to getting him into position. Everybody should be familiar with it. Activate it. Your unit attack goes up by 30%. You get Blast, where you reduce damage by 30% when attacking as long as you have 80% health or more. And Reinforcement, after you end your turn, recover 20% HP. And you get immunity to debuff, so you get Gospel for 2 turns. Really powerful skill. And when you cast, you can move another 3 blocks and then attack. So, you have your movement buff people. Imelda, which we're going to get into shortly. Akka, they're going to give him increased movement. He gets 7 movement, goes in. Chivalry, that's 10 movement. Smash into them with Blue Dragon Strike, kill them. If they have a lot of heal, they have a lot of physical damage resist, you can just retreat, bait them into a bad spot. Let your other units finish them off. But this is going to be core, what you're going to be using 99% of the time. Imperial Charge, you can use this if you have someone like Toguro there, because this will give him the unique faction buff. For every 1 mock move before attacking, deal 5% additional damage up to 15%. So you could have Legion, Imperial Charge, and then something like Assault. That way, he is a little more versatile to pick off the squishies, and Toguro has that added chance of killing them. Like if they get buffed, like if that juggler gets buffed with tons more damage reduction, this could be the little bit that pushes them over. 1,000 Hooves. Attack an enemy unit, dealing 0.7 damage. After battle, enemy suffers -2 mobility and can't guard for 2 turns. Can't be dispelled. This is a powerful buff, but it doesn't stop them from being healed. So, if you can't one-shot, there's not much to really bring this for. Like, unless you can retreat back into safety of your tank. Because then the next turn you can just go and kill a squishy. So it's a very, very situational skill to use. You would honestly rather just stay with Blue Dragon Strike in general. But if you're going to play the slow push game because you think they're going to play that, you would then pick this one because you're going last and then it's their turn first. They can't dispel it. There is one turn you can just kill a squishy for free. Even if they go in an AoE, you can just, like, they go in an AoE first, you can then heal up. They better have something to keep you down. If they don't, that's a free kill. But in summation, Legion, Chivalry, Blue Dragon Strike gonna be your core kit on him in order to assassinate. Just tank bust and be dominant. Now, factions are not going to affect him too much. Empire's Honor, Leon, Bernhardt, and Lance all buff it. Only Leon himself and Bernhardt give unique buffs. Bernhardt's buff, when you use it, will actually make it so that Leon, or any character affected by it, they deal increased damage if they have a class advantage. So, you know, you're already dominating them, dominate them even harder, make sure they're put into the ground again. Bernhardt is getting his 3C in another 6 months. That is going to make him scary. We're going to start seeing him come in there. He's going to be used most likely as like an off tank. That way, because he's going to be using Sword Dance with our 3 ring about it. With Leon, we already discussed his. Again, most likely you're not going to be using it, but if you do have that girl on your team with you, it gives a unique situation for advanced power, but he does not need it. Classes. Oh. He is only cavalry, so if you're stuck with that, you want to be in Strike Master because this has more attack than Royal Knight. Royal Knight has more survivability, but Strike Master is what you want to assassinate. Just bust that tank, plow right through him. And I'm calling it right now, when he gets his SP class, it's going to be a swordsman. Just look at that sword. It's humongous. Anyways, that's for the future. Going on to his Mastery Stones, pretty basic. Armor and headwear, HP, defense, attack. Weapon, attack, skill, HP. Just got to max out the attack, max out that skill. I think I'm missing one here to get him to 80. If I get another Surge Stone, we'll do that. For the Arena Stones, I'm debating whether to switch out this defense with crit damage, but making sure he has, which I probably will do once I get some new Arena Stones, but I've had this on him for a long time. But it's going to be pretty basic. You can give him that little bit of extra defense because he doesn't need to crit to kill because of how much damage he's just going to do in general. But defense, HP, attack, crit, skill. Instead of defense, you can do crit damage. Super basic. Now we're going to move on to his soldiers, which he doesn't have many choices. We're going to start with the one you can't pick, really, because Berserkers only have 3 move. This would have given you a chance to counter Lancers, but because he's cavalry, and Berserkers don't get increased movement when you put him on there, you're not going to get a chance to use them. So, it's unfortunate, but he's gone. Bone Dino is going to be who you primarily pick to tank bust. HP is above 80%. That's going to be a theme. Attack increases by 45%. Gets these dinos unbelievable attack to be able to just bust through anything. These are going to be core. You're going to use these to kill that juggler, to kill any infantry units, to bust any tank that does not have Lancer units equipped. Now, one of the traps that can happen is because they see you have Leon, if they see you have somebody else who you know has Bone Dinos or Heaven's Guard, jugglers will put, when you get into the higher ranks, use Stone Colossus to counter that. What you can do you can then put angels on there. With enough buffs, the angels can kill the Stone Colossus before Leon gets to them. If that happens, he can just bust right through and doesn't have to worry about them. But you need a lot of buff on him. Like, you need to have Iris and Tiaris buffs, the teleport and the attack blessing, to really make them, because they only get a 20% attack boost. One of the lowest attack boosts around there. Like, Berserkers have other training nodes which give them more damage, but it's really, really hard when you compare everything and how much defense they have for angels to really be considered tank busting. If you're playing against a rush team and they have a lot of magic users, angels are actually really good in that because they're naturally squishy and they can keep alive. They will make sure that they take reduced damage. They might even be able to tank a hit. I've had D-Lit's attack, and because I was on a forest tile, my angels absorbed all of the damage. Might not have worked out that way because I believe forest only provides 20% defense, but that D-Lit just couldn't get through. They just didn't have the damage to do it. Vampire Bats I don't recommend in PvP. These are PvE oriented. These are not going to help you with tank busting at all. Scorpions are interesting because they're basically just like Berserkers, but you know, they have cavalry class. They have infantry movement though. Now, in just a moment, we're going to go over his equipment. There is a chance if you wanted to go the crit route, you can do Scorpions. I don't recommend it because Bone Dino just has that massive attack boost, but you can always try to surprise people because getting that crit might deal just a little bit more damage. Royal Cavalry is too defensive, you're not going to use it. Guardian Cavalry is garbage, don't ever use them. Basically, Bone Dino, 99% of the time, when you're tank busting, you're going to use him. Angels, if you know you're going to get countered by Stone Colossus. That way, you're not 100% countered. On to equipment. There's two main weapons that you can use for him. Blue Star, which coincides with his talent. For every block moved, get increased damage and defense. Blue Star, before battle, for every one block moved, get attack defense and magic defense increased by 5% for each block, up to 15% at most. My Leon currently moving 3 blocks with Chivalry gets to an 1897 attack. Just shy of 1900. I need like 1 more percent on one of my other items in order to get there. I feel this is the best for him in just pure strict tank busting because this will give you just a little bit more attack. If you don't have one, Seal Guardian is always a good option. If you wanted extra crit chance, you can go for a Frost Ren or a Demon Slayer. I would pick Demon Slayer more because it's just a better weapon. It gives you additional skill as well. Bloodsword Harunting and Dragon Slayer Graham are not good for him. We don't have enough dragons. Nobody plays Juggler and Dragon class. Renata is almost never played, so you're not going to have to worry about that. This doesn't give as much of an attack boost. Now, Balance Blade. This is what I was talking about before. If you want to run that blue Dragon Strike strategy to just disrupt their entire formation, this is what you're going to do. You're gonna put that on there, run right in, Blue Dragon Strike. They're gonna be low HP. In this case, you probably don't want to play against Juggler. You'll want to play against somebody like Albedo, like Landius, if you think they're gonna be a cavalry Landius. In general, you don't want to play against Landis at all, but if you're gonna go for this in order to just put their squishies out of position, this is a great option. So, Blue Star if you just want pure tank busting power. Seal Guardian if you don't have it. Balance Blade if you want to go for the formation disruption strategy. For his armor, you need Blue Dragon Carapace. After taking damage, terrain will no longer affect your mobility. Last one turn. It basically makes it so you treat everything as plains. Boom. Pure and simple, it is plains. You can go over those mountains. You attack somebody. You retreat. Oh, go over those 3 mountain squares. Don't have to worry about a thing. And it stays for your next turn. So you attack and you have that buff. You move, it stays. This can be comboed with Imelda. Queen's Whip does damage to him. And then with her regrowth 2 cost, she can just heal him back up to full. Giving him +2 movement, ignore terrain, and extra stats. Very easily over 2100. Probably just under 2100 attack in Apex with all the extra boosts. This is going to be core to him. Like, no, you don't want any other. There's different things if you can't afford it, but do whatever you can to get this. Because you need to run Imelda with him to maximize. You can run Arcane Battle Guard for a little bit of extra damage if they live with like 100 HP. They shouldn't, but if you feel they are, you can do that. Giant's Resolve, Aeolus, and Bloodline are good if you don't have this yet. But do whatever you can to get it. What's going to make him good. For his helmet, I'm gonna have to start re-enchanting. I'm probably going to bench Sonya. You want Fury of Tyr on him. As soon as I get more Rough Sea Scrolls I can spare, I'm going to re-enchant one of these. Going to put it on him. Use Chivalry. End your turn, your skill damage is increased by 10%. Bam. Makes Blue Dragon Strike deal even more damage. It is perfect for Leon. This is his preferred helmet right now. At the time when I enchanted this, I did not have one. So that's why I have Anias's helmet. Pretty decent stats. I'm actually proud of that. I wish this was percentage, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Other helmets, you can use Vampire Mask. That way, when you Chivalry next to them in range, you have a chance of lowering their defense to deal extra damage. So that is an option as well. If you don't have Fury of Tyr, you don't want to build up Anias's helmet. If you have nothing else, you can do Chief's helmet, but I don't recommend it. Carbon Fiber Helm is not good for him. And that's going to cut there. Again, get that Fury of Tyr, maximize his damage output. For accessories, you want more attack. Slayer's Emblem, Judge Talisman, these are going to be the best. I got this off an SR scroll, as you can see. This was my 3rd enchant on this one when I first got this was my first Slayer's Emblem. I have not been able onto this emblem to get a better enchant than this. So that's why it's stuck right here. But, it's just amazing. Now, if you don't have Slayer's Emblem or Judge Talisman, Lone Star Amulet is actually a good substitute because it gives you plus 10% attack and defense. If I could start getting more Lone Stars, I might be trying to switch over to there because they're going to, in general, not be next to the allies. But you do have to not have friendly units in range in order to get that buff. So if you're slow pushing, it's not going to be the best. But that extra 2% can mean the difference between killing somebody and letting them live. Let's see. Winged Shin Guards are another option because you get that for free doing the Lushyrus challenges. It's always good. 8% attack, just like Slayer's Emblem, gives you solid attack. I don't recommend Insidious Pendant. You can if you just want all that extra crit chance, but it doesn't give him as much attack. Other than that, there's not many other accessories that you can use. I mean, Elven Ring is, I believe it is 8% attack and defense just when attacking in general. If you don't have anything else, you can do that, I guess, but because even if you are in range of an ally, you will get that boost when attacking. But other than that, you want to stick to Slayer's Emblem and Judge Talisman. Especially if you are attacking somebody like Ledin or any other holy tanks that we might get in the future. Alright, so we've gone over the basics. Heroes that synergize with him. Dealit can give him added mobility with Sea of Miracles in order to give extra damage, reduce cooldown. Accelerated A gives him mobility, always a good help. Estelle, Enduring Hope, extra mobility, extra stats. Won't matter that much, you just need that mobility, and she gives extra skill. Imelda. Just the best. Queen's Whip him. Wacha. Activate Blue Dragon Carapace. Regrowth heals him right back up to full. Queen's Gambit unit. The hero damage increases by 20%. And that's gonna give him a lot of tank busting power. Like if you're in range and you're running Empire's Honor as well, that the amount of stack you will get is absurd. Other units, Luna will help him as well, lets him ignore 2 spaces with Wind God Realm. Matthew with Sprint. Tiaris with Attack Blessing and Miracle. Akka gives 30% with Wild Power and 2 Mobility. If you wanted to run Imperial Charge, I keep calling it Empire's Honor. Imperial Charge, you can do this as well, and they get all of that extra damage from that. It's a great combo. Iris with Teleport, Lejarden de Iris. I've already gone over that. She's going to be a staple for just about any box. Liana and Florentia are not the best because you have to get them in range and you have to make sure he lives a turn. So you don't want to, they don't have the mobility, you don't want to work with them. And last but not least, Weiler, high stakes, 50% increased damage, 50% less damage taken, always going to help him with busting through that barrier. When you are playing Leon, you want to make sure you ban certain characters. Almost all Landiuses are going to be Lancer now. Get rid of him. You don't want to touch him, you will not be able to tank bust him. Ledin, he's going to have a Phalanx Soldier on there, reduce all that damage. Get rid of him. His talent will counterattack you and can possibly kill you because of how much damage he will do in retaliation. If you can fight him before his attack goes up because he uses Divine Guard or he doesn't get to use Righteous Duel, you do have a chance of just killing him because he can't deal damage to you. His attack will just be too low, your defense will make it do nothing. Albedo is in a weird state because she does take, at max rank, 25% reduced damage. And she can get Phalanx Soldiers. But she is infantry. In general, you just don't want to face it because of that Phalanx. And the reduced damage she takes. She's going to be super, super buff. Don't want to risk it. You want to get rid of all these single target tanks as much as possible. That way, you can just stampede over Juggler. Let people feel comfortable with having Juggler, and then take advantage of it. AoE mages in general, you want to get rid of. Licorice, Bozel, Rachel. They're going to put a hamper on your plans. They are going to make it almost impossible for you to be at full health. Bozel will sleep you. Ban Yulia, because since you're not going to be running Assault 99% of the time, she will live through it, she can deal decent damage to you and heal up. Then you retreat 3 spaces, she can go at you, Godly Menace, and then kill you off. You don't want to deal with her. Estelle, the last tank, you don't want to deal with her. She's just going to run Phalanx, she's tanky as well and will live through you. Don't want to deal with her. Sage of the Trees, you want to ban him. His Wave Whisper and Light Array skill will make it so that you cannot run, you cannot go to the spaces you want because it makes you use extra movement. Get rid of him, don't deal that, that'll just ruin everything and they can just push you back and poke you down. If your opponent has an Elwyn or a Brenda Want to ban those as well right now, at least until SP Elwyn is released, because most people are going to run him as a cavalry. I will get into Elwyn once his SP form releases and how there's going to become there will be 3 playable classes for him. His hero class will become playable again. Get to that later. Other high mobility units you don't want to deal with: Rosalia, you don't want to deal with Claret or Illustrial. You don't want to deal with Shaltir, because she will have that physical barrier and have Lancer units. She is actually going to hard counter Leon. Assassins in general, you're going to have decently high skill, so Omega is not going to be the biggest threat because he won't be able to triple you. But Zerida, Hiei, they can get right in there. You know, Dark Dragon, Dragon of Darkness Flame, boom, weaken you, attack, uses 3C, boom, you're just dead and gone. If he doesn't get in range, he has backstab. Just ban these assassins as much as possible. And that's gonna about do it. Leon is really in a good spot coming into the future if you can ban any of the single target counter tanks. You know, let them have that juggler, bust in there, make them think that they have to run Lobster Behemoth. But you can also then trick them. They run the Stone Colossus. If they do run the Stone Colossus, and you know they're going to do it, pick those Angels. Have that Toguro with you. Pick that Gargoyle. Have Toguro go in there and just punch them in the face and break them down. Make it into your House of Victory. Alright. That is going to cover it for Leon. Very simple, but amazing potential with 2 main strategies to either tank bust or disrupt the formation. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe. I'm going to be continuing this series. Hope you all enjoyed it. Righteous Freed, out.